Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss the gaming part of physical education, and the first game should be cricket. I hope you people are just like this game. So let's start. So first of all we are going to discuss about the knowledge of the game. Okay. So no one knows when or where cricket began, but there is a body of evidence, much it's circumstantial, that strongly suggests the game was being devised during Saxon or Norman times by children living in the Weald, an area of dense woodlands and clearings in southeast England that lies across Kent and Sussex. So here we can see that we don't know that the origin of cricket began from, but we only know that there are two childrens where the Saxon and Norman they were used to play this kind of game. And around the beginning of 7th century there is a speculation of cricket began where Shepherd in the 1300 as bowled balls of wool at gates called bell. Okay, means at that time there was a shepherd who used to make ball by the using of wools, and thereafter it gained so much popularity that among the higher classes, the noble and the wealthy people. So there are many enthusiasts in cricket and it is a way of life. Like all bat and ball game, cricket evolved gradually from various sources. It related to an early Scottish sport known as cat and dog, a 13th century pastime called hand in and hand out. So as we know the cricket, but in the early period, means at the time of Scottish, they used to tell it the cat and dog. Thereafter the game is popularly known as the hand in and hand out. So there has been so many names in the past. The cricket was brought to Indian subcontinent by the British in the beginning. The game was played amongst the Britishers. By the beginning of 19th century, the local population also start taking interest in the game, particularly in the city of Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. The Parsis of Bombay were pioneering in creating interest about cricket. India played its first official test against England in 1932 and has played nearly since 1954 official test against Australia, England, Pakistan, New Zealand and West Indies. So as we can see that the British people just bought the game in India, and by the beginning of 19th century the local people of India also started to show their interest in this game, and this game is mainly popular in Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. Thereafter the passes of Bombay were also start to take part in this game. Okay, then we will go for the basics. So cricket is a team sports for two team of 11 player each, and a formal game of cricket can last any time from an afternoon to several days. Means cricket needs 11 player, and it can last from afternoon to a several days until it like stop or until it's over. Although the game play and rules are very different, the basic concept of cricket is similar to that of baseball. Teams bat in the successive inning and attempt to score runs, while the opposing team field and attempt to bring an end to the batting team's inning. After each team has bat an equal number of innings, either one or two depending on the condition chosen before the game, the team will with the most run wins. Means there are several types of rules and there has been a several types of plays. Like this is also similar to the baseball. There has been a two team. A single team will start to batting and thereafter the other team has to bowl, and after the first inning and in the second inning the second team will start to bat and the first team will go for the bowling, and at the end of the match when we can see the team which have did the most run will considered as the winner team. Okay, so thereafter we will go for the field. A cricket field is a roughly elliptical field of flat bounded by an obvious fence on either marker. There is no fixed size or shape for the field, although large deviation from a low eccentricity ellipse are discouraged. The area is split into two halves after a line down the middle of the pitch. The half of the field in front of the striker is called the offside. The half behind is called the leg side or something the on side. So as we can see that the cricket field is very rough and elliptical, okay, and it has a lot of fencing and marker in it which has been just used to show the boundaries and all. And the area is split into two half, and that is, first one is the line down in the middle of the pitch, and half of the pitch is in front of the striker, means the person who is doing the batting is said to be the striker, and the half field in front of the striker is called offside, and the half in the behind of the striker is called the long side, or sometimes it has been also called the on side. Okay, so as you can see, this is the cricket field, and there has been a different places lying long off, long on, boundary line, deep extra cover, short extra cover. I hope you people also already know this kind of things, as you all like the cricket so much and it's IPL time. So let's start. The 30-yard circle. A painted circle or ellipse center in the middle of the pitch of radius 30-yard mark on the field. The purpose of 30-yard circle is separating the infield from the outfield, used in policing the field regulation for certain one-day version of the game. So mostly it is used to just signify the inner field and outer field from the other side. Okay, and it is mostly used for the one day version of the game, which you are going to learn later. Thereafter we'll go for the pitch. So as we can see, the cricket pitch consists of the central strip of the cricket field between the wickets, and it is carefully prepared rectangle of closely mown rolled grass over hard packed earth. It is marked with a white line and called creases. As you can see that in the field, you can see that there has been a two places like the umpire stood and thereafter stumps. Okay, so that rectangle place is called crease. Okay, so there has been a three crease: bowling crease, popping crease, return crease. So bowling crease is the back of the crease marking and shall be lined through the center of the three stumps at the end, and that is the bowling area of the bowler. Thereafter the popping crease. Popping crease shall be in front of and parallel to the bowling crease. So that part is called the popping crease, and it is always remain in between the bowler and batting side. Okay, thereafter we'll go for the return crease, and this is the intersect the popping crease and consist of two line. It is used as a guideline for the bowler who must not overstep the second line before releasing the ball. If he oversteps the line, then the umpire calls a no ball. Means the return crease is the crease where a line has been just took from that places where bowlers start to bowling, and we can say that if a bowler overlap the line, thereafter the umpire will decide to make a no ball. Okay, and there are certain conditions when a pitch can be changed during a match. If the pitch become moist and sticky, if the umpires find the pitch unfit, then they can change after consulting both the captains. Means there has been certain rules at the time when a pitch can be changed. Thereafter, as you can see, the dimensions. Must remember, it is a very important part for the cricket, that the cricket field area, that is 100 to 160 yards. Pitch area and distance between two set of wickets should be 22 yards long and 10 feet wide. Thereafter the bowling crease should be 8 feet 8 inches. Popping crease should be 6 feet. Return crease should be 8 feet. And as you can see that there has been a different area. As you can see that this one is the bowling crease, there are the return crease, and this is the popping crease. Okay, so let's go talk about the equipments. What equipments do we need in cricket? Okay, so first of all we can see that there is a cricket ball and is a hand, cork and string ball covered with leather, a bit like a baseball in size and hardness, but the lever covering is thicker and joined in two hemisphere. The seams is thus like an equator, and the stitching is raised tightly. Traditionally the ball is dyed red with the stitching left white. Nowadays white ball are also used for visibility in the games played at night during artificial lighting. The new ball will be issued at the beginning and can be issued after completing 34 overs. Means there has been some criteria for the cricket ball, and the criteria is that, first of all, let's talk about the manufacturing of the cricket ball. So it is very hard cork and string ball. It is always covered with leather. It is very thick and it almost look like the equator, but it does not very visible during the night time or the artificial lightnings there. That's why they just change the same ball into white ball, for that the game should be played in the night under the artificial lights also. And there has been one more rule, and that rule is that after completing the 34 over, the ball should be changed. Okay. And what is the measurement for the cricket ball? The measurement is between 22.4 to 22.9 centimeter, and the weight should be 156 to 163 grams. Thereafter we can see that a cricket bat, blade made of willow, flat on one side, humped on the other for strength and attached to a sturdy cane handle. During the match, the umpire can change the bat when the bat is visibly damaged. Means if you will go for the bat, that it is a willow, flat and one side humped, on the other side for the strength, and umpire can change the bat if the bat is visibly damaged. Otherwise the bat should not be changed. And the measurement should be 10.8 centimeter width of blade, and the whole bat should be 96.5 centimeter. As you can see here, the picture is also given for the bat. Okay. Then we can see the wickets are also there. So wickets are the stumps and the bell together form a wicket at the end of the each end of the pitch, and the complete wicket look like shown in the figure. Means we will see the figure in the next page, but before that I want to say that the three dots over there has been putted by a wicket. Okay. So as you can see, this is the stumps, and there has been the upper part should be called as the bell. Okay. So stumps are the three vertical posts which support bells. They have spikes extending from their bottom end and are hammered into the ground in an unevenly spaced row and positioned in such a way that they are just close enough together that a cricket ball. So it means that it should be very close together so that a cricket ball should not pass. Thereafter we will go for the stumps, and the stump should be off stump, middle stump and leg stump. So off stump is the off side of the wicket, and middle stump is in the middle or in the center part, and the leg stump is on the on side of the wicket or the batsman leg side. Then we can also see the dimensions for the stumps, and that is the maximum diameter should be 31.82 to 33.49 centimeter. I'm sorry, 3.81 centimeter to 3.49 centimeter. Thereafter the height should be 71.1 centimeter, and overall width of each wicket should be 22.8 centimeter, and the size of bails should be 10.95 centimeter. Then we are going to start the bell. Two carved wooden cross pieces placed on stumps, and that is called the stamps. Okay. And the side screen, there has been a very large screen position beyond the boundary, so it forms a backdrop behind the bowler so that the striker can see the ball clearly, and that is called a side screen, and it is issued for the striker to see the ball very clearly. Thereafter we can see the boundary. So boundary is nothing but a perimeter of the field, and that is called the boundary. It should be 75 to 85 yards, and the umpire shall agree the boundary of the field of the play with both captains before the toss. Thereafter we can see there has been some protective gears too, that is the keepers, batsman pad, gloves, helmets, thighs guard, chest guard, all of these kind of equipment, so that they can prevent themselves from the injury when struck by the ball. Thereafter shoes, and that should be leather or usually with spiked sole for the best grip and increase the force. And then we can see for the clothing they use the long pant, shirt, and possibly a sleeveless or long sleeved woolen pullover in cold weather. Okay. Thereafter we use a red ball and white ball also. So the clothing must be white or cream. If the ball is red, then the clothing should be white or cream, and if the ball is white, then the player should use a uniform in solid team color. Okay. Thereafter, so many equipments, and all of these equipments are also called the compulsory equipments. After that, there has been some other guards also, just as the elbow guard, abdominal guard, and several guards are also present over there. So I'm going to close the class today. Until this, after we are going to learn about the players and other things also. Thank you.